Hi there, students. Blur and slur. To blur, a verb. A blur, a noun. Blurry, an adjective. To slur, a verb. A slur, a noun. Slurry, an adjective. I guess you could probably say this. Let's see. If something is a blur, if something is blurred, it's indistinct. So I take off my glasses and everything is a blur. It's all smeared together, joined together, indistinct, hazy in outline. Yeah, it's unclear and cloudy, indistinguishable. Let's see, blur is particularly often with visual. So everything was a blur without my glasses. The individual faces of the crowd were a blur. Her vision blurred as the drug took effect. Or maybe you could blur the divisions between one category and another, to cause to be indistinguishable, in this case intellectually indistinguishable. Okay, let's look at slur because it's clearly related. If you slur, the first meaning to slur is to pronounce indistinctly. He'd been drinking and he was slurring his words. He was slurring his words. He was slurring his words, okay, and that is to slur, yeah, to talk indistinctly, to pronounce indistinctly so that you can't actually hear it properly, yeah. So normally, most commonly, blur is visual, whereas slur is auditory, yeah. So if something that you hear, your voice is blurred, it's slurred, yeah? And that's the idea. Okay, so to blur, to make indistinct, to slur, to speak indistinctly. Now notice as well, we use slur to mean an insult, to talk disparagingly about somebody, to talk about someone in an insulting way, to cast aspersions on them. The scandal slurred his reputation. The newspapers were always printing slurs. Yeah, statements that have a degrading effect, a disparaging mark, a disparaging innuendo. Yeah, to harm somebody's reputation by criticizing them. This report is a slur to the teachers at the school. It's insulting, yeah? It criticizes them and harms their reputation. Okay, so it's not right, yeah? It's damaging their reputation. So to slur someone, to injure somebody, to cause their damage to their reputation, yeah? That comment you just make, I take as a slur on my character. Yeah, they're sort of blurring the clarity of it. Okay, so to blur, to make dim, to make cloudy, to make indistinct. When you look into the distance on a very hot sunny day, you might see that the air is shimmering and everything behind that is a blur. Okay, you can't see it distinctly. The difference between social classes is becoming blurred. It's not as clear cut and not as clearly defined as it used to be. To become vague or less distinct. Yeah, education blurs class distinctions. If you're driving in the fog, everything seems to be a blur. His vision was blurred by tears. Yeah, I looked through the blur of smoke. Yeah, it's not very clear. Okay, so to slur, to speak in or pronounce indistinctly, or to talk critically and insultingly about somebody. Yeah, so it's a slur, to smear, if you like. Okay, so yes, to slur, indistinct pronunciation, omitting sounds, hurried and careless speaking. Yeah, so this is slurred, but very commonly to slur somebody's reputation. Yeah, to make it less strong, to damage it. This is another slur on the honesty of the police. After he had a stroke, his speech was slurred, but that slurring slowly got better. Yeah? But I didn't mean to slur you with what I said. I thought that this was true. Okay, so blur and slur, how formal. To blur, as in you can't see, I think this is a 5 informality. You can use it anywhere. To blur is a regular verb. The smoke blurred the scene. The smoke has blurred the view. And then to slur, to speak indistinctly, I think is another 5 informality. He spoke in a slurred voice. He slurred his words. And this is a regular verb. He slurred his words. He has slurred every day this week when he has spoken. What about a slur, or to slur someone's reputation? I think I'd probably give this a 4.5. It's ever so slightly on the informal side. I think you could use it in a semi-formal writing, but don't use it in a very formal writing. I think maybe to disparage, to insult, to cast aspersions on. That's a really formal one for you. Okay, so what about the origin of these? Well, in Middle English you've got a word blear, which I guess is blur, and maybe this is you can't see it, but this is also clearly related to the word slur, and you've got a Low German word, slurren, to trail in the mud. Or even Norwegian slora, to be careless as well. But this yeah? Okay, so to blur, to make indistinct, to slur, to talk indistinctly, or to insult, a racial slur, for example. So there you go. Blur and slur, interesting words, use them. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Blur and slur. Blurred, slurred as adjectives, blurry and slurry, I guess, as well. Bye for now.